America's culture has committed suicide, and it's clear that there's not much that is working for the people anymore. Careers aren't working, monogamy isn't working, universities and degrees aren't working. So many things and avenues of life and culture, at least the culture of what we thought once was, is no longer valuable and is no longer applicable to the people that are actually in the culture. Now, I say this as a man that is striving to be educated, that is a man that is striving to create a family, that is striving for everlasting life, liberty, and the pursuit of that which is most high. And so seeing these things and seeing how all of this is playing out and looking around, it's very clear to me that America's culture has committed suicide, and now it seems like everybody wants your God to be money. They want you to be stupid, and they want your God to be money, because if you are stupid and your God is money, well, what exactly does that equation equal in the mindset of anybody? Well, it equals everlasting sorrow, not life. It equals a very complex form of misunderstanding of the value of life, and really the value of anything that is good, just, and true. And so it seems to me the best course of action to take, like, I'm not necessarily telling you guys this to just be a pity party or anything like that. I'm assessing the situation, and now we got to figure out, what do we do about it? How do we maneuver through this, and what do we do exactly to get on a better track? Because obviously the track that we're on isn't working. Well, it seems to me like the reason that monogamy isn't working is because people aren't actually committed. Well, they're not taught to actually commit to things. And we live in a culture, like in our careers and such, where they'll just drop you at the sign of anything. You know, they'll drop you at the sight of whatever means necessary to get you to live a life that is meaningless, that is hopeless, and that is ultimately designed for little prosperity to take place. Because if they can get you to a place where prosperity doesn't take place, then you can get to a position where your mindset, your frame of understanding and life altogether is one where you absolutely must rely on other people to meet your needs. And if you rely on other people to meet your needs, then what's going to happen is that you're never going to actually be individuated. You're never going to actually grow beyond the scope of what you're capable of, because if you are not able to do so, well, then you can't be self-sustaining. And so if you want to live in a self-sustaining life and a self-sustaining world, then the best thing that you can do, the best thing that you can do for yourself and for the people around you, is to be learning skills, to be learning different ways of being, different modes of being, different operations in which you can truly live a life where you're actually satisfied and fulfilled, because they don't want you to be fulfilled. If your God is money, then you're not going to be fulfilled. And if your God is based off of the materials of life, you're going to have idols. And if you have idols, you're not going to be... Man, it was not busy at all for like 10 minutes, and I was just seeing if things were going to settle down, and everything's super busy now, but that's okay. We still got a nice view. We still got a good video going here. But if you can worship idols, and if you worship idols, and if you worship the material over the spiritual, you're bound to stay stuck in bondage, and you're bound to stay manipulated by other people, because you can't really ever be manipulated if you actually have God as your God. And if you're not stupid, well, then you can actually think for yourself. Free thinking people is not what any of these people want. Free thinking people with the ability to discern, to think about certain things, because here's the thing though that most of you are probably going through. You're probably a little bit too smart and a little bit too much seeing into the reality of the situation. You're too much into this kind of stuff. You're seeing too much into it. You're seeing more than you're supposed to see. You're thinking more than you're supposed to. You're supposed to just sit down, be competent enough to do what is necessary to get you to a certain point, but not competent and overconfident enough to where you actually decide that you can probably make it on your own. Because if you think that you can make it on your own, well, then all of a sudden whoever's pulling the strings has information and leverage that is completely absent. And if their leverage is absent in your life, holy moly. Anyway, if their leverage is absent in your life, and that's a sign, by the way, that's just more confirmation that there's abstract forces working in this world that are not necessarily wanting you to listen to what's actually going on. The truth is not wanting to be revealed right now. And the truth of this situation is that we're in much more danger than we can possibly imagine. And I don't necessarily like to just say things like that. I'm not an alarmist, I'm not an alertist or anything like that. I'm simply saying that now's the time to build skills. Now's the time to put skills as your number one priority, and then cash, because obviously you need cash to live in this world. I'm not saying that cash isn't important. I'm not saying that money isn't important, even though it is a concept and time is a concept. I mean, have you ever just sat down? Like, if I were to just sit down on this path right here and just stare out at this vast valley and just look out and see what's beyond, time really dissolves, and the need for money really dissolves. If you're able to just look at it, not necessarily name anything, not trying to name anything, you're just looking at it to look at it and to experience it. It's such a profound experience to just do that, to not actually think about anything, to not actually try to get anywhere, to not actually try to do this to get to that, or try to do this to get to that, and have this to get that. Everybody's got it. like everybody's got it, or got something. It's like, oh, I finally got this, I finally got that. Like, who cares, man? Like, these material things are not going to last forever. And obviously, if you're still watching this video, you're smart enough to know that what I'm saying is actually the truth, and that you're way smarter than they want you to be. Okay? And who exactly is they? Well, it's whoever is pulling the strings. Because we have no clue who is running our country here in America anyway. We have no clue what's actually going on. We just want to think that we do sometimes. And I think a lot of people have the delusion that they want to think that they know exactly what's happening. But they don't. They just don't. So, what do we do in this situation? What do we do? The best thing that we can possibly do is to build our skills and to build a community that is like-minded, so that when the time comes, when things hit the fan, because it will. Like, I don't know exactly how, I don't know exactly when, but it's going to. We're prepared and we're ready to move forward accordingly. And so with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, one more thing. We've got some big stuff coming in for the Regal Change Academy, so you'll want to stay tuned for that. And if you want more information about it, check out in the link in the description box below. Otherwise, peace be with you. Till next time.